What's up, guys? All right, so I have been on a little mini hiatus because, I went away on vacation for Valentine's Day. It was a surprise, so that was a lot of fun. And when I got back, I really just wanted to focus on personal readings and just really get caught up, in a way that I haven't been caught up in a while so that I can, work more easy, spread my days out a little bit better. But for those of you that are waiting on, the love readings that I haven't done, I will get those out very, very soon, okay? Just so I can, be back on track and start posting normally again because I haven't been, up to par lately. But ladies, this video is for you, okay? Because I feel like this is a topic that is very important. It is something that I have been meaning to talk about for so long, but I just never felt that it was the right moment. I never felt that I had the right words. So now that I do feel that I have the right words, I want to take advantage of this opportunity. So I am making this video for any single mothers, young mothers, or just mothers in general, because we all go through, similar things and similar struggles. Now, I am going to be completely blunt on my experience as a single mother because I feel like the mental health of a mother is so important, and I feel like a lot of people may not understand the true realities because we all kind of want to put motherhood in this beautiful little box and we want to package it and make it look really pretty. But the truth is, things aren't always like that. So, what some of the things I might say is might seem controversial to some people, but I think that it's something that a majority of women feel. We just don't talk about it. So, for those of you that have been, just following the channel for a while, I have spoken, bits and pieces about my past and where I come from, and, just the fact that I was always a very ambitious person. Even from very little, I knew that there was big things that, I was meant to do. I just didn't know how. I didn't know where it was going to happen, when it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen. So a lot of us usually have that plan, right? When we're in middle school or in high school, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to get this great job, I'm going to work my way up to CEO. Okay, we all map it out. And sometimes when it comes to motherhood, it doesn't happen when you plan it. Most of the time, it's just something that, it's a spur of the moment sort of thing. And it's like, okay, now I have to deal with this. So, like I said, I've spoken about this before. When I got to college, it was my first year of college. And I was just so excited to have freedom because my parents were just super strict growing up. So I enjoyed my first year of college. It was excellent. I was just getting accustomed to being in a new state and just meeting new people and getting over that homesickness. And it was really the second year of college that I feel I really found myself, and I found, my group of people that I liked, and that I was figuring out what it is that I wanted to do in life. I went to school for entrepreneurship. So that year is the year that I met my son's father. And everything, when I first met him, it was just like he was just that bad boy that I wanted, And you know how it is, you're young, you're in love, or you think you're in love, and things just kind of get out of hand. They happen very quickly. So, not even 3-4 months after meeting this guy, bam, pregnancy. So here I am, a person who's very, very ambitious, a person who just wants to take over the world in the most humblest way possible because I've always wanted to help people. So I am in a position where I am pregnant. And I don't want to get rid of the baby, okay? But the relationship that I was in started to get very abusive. So I'm pregnant, I'm in an abusive relationship, and it's just like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my social life? What's going to happen to my friends? What's going to happen to my future? Am I going to be able to finish school? And everything just took a crazy turn. So I'm like, okay, how do I deal with the cards that were just put on my table? How do I deal with the situation? And I can't, I'm sure a lot of you understand this, but that feeling that you get when you know that there's another life coming into your life, and you know there's about to be a huge change. I'll be very honest. While things were good with the father and I, I was excited for it. I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. We're going to be a family. We'll find a way to get through this together. But, a few months into the pregnancy, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to be a single mother. I am probably going to have to move back home. I am probably not going to be able to finish school. And that's what happened. I was not able to finish school. So I felt the way that a lot of people feel, but they won't say it in the beginning. When I first had my son and I held him, of course, there's that feeling of, oh my God, I made you. You are beautiful. You are perfect. And I love you so much. But I was in such a weak mind state only because I was still, around this abusive man. My social life just changed dramatically. I had gotten a C-section, so for the first month or two, I was pretty much out of commission when it came to walking or doing anything that had like heavy energy or exercising or anything like that. So I was just really down and I felt like I had no outlets. And like I said, this is going to be, I'm going to be very blunt with y'all. There was a part of me that felt very resentful. I went to, it was like his 3-month checkup. I went and I was talking to the doctor and she goes, how's everything going? Where's the father? He couldn't make it he couldn't make it today. And that was kind of my trigger. And I started just crying. And I told her I don't want to be a mom. My friends don't call me anymore. People just look at me with pity. The people that disliked me in the past, they're laughing at me. Because here I am, 19 years old with a child. And I was angry. And as much as I loved my son, he reminded me of the abuse. He reminded me of the freedom that, I felt was stripped from me. He reminded me of all the struggle that I was about to go through. Because I hadn't adjusted yet. I told myself, shit, I do not like waking up early. I have this child crying at all parts of the night. I do not have assistant. His father's absolutely insane. And my parents, they're very strict. So it was kind of like that attitude, like, what's that? You got yourself into this. You got to deal with it. So they refused to babysit. They refused to do certain things like that. And, that wasn't their job. That's something that I had to do, that it was my responsibility. But it was tough, guys. It was really, really tough. And I just had to work through my feelings. And I was kind of ashamed at how I felt. I didn't mistreat my son. It was nothing like that. But I was definitely so upset. The people that I hung out with all the time, they stopped calling me. Okay, they're like, oh, cute kid. But that was it. I felt like I lost everybody. If it wasn't because of the baby, it was because of how crazy I was while I was being abused. People just couldn't deal with me anymore. You guys know we all have that one friend that they're going through a shitty situation and we give them really good advice. Like, you have to get yourself out of this. You have to leave that guy. And I was that friend that constantly asked for advice, but I wasn't taking anyone's advice. I was doing this to myself. It was so hard for me to leave. So I really felt like I lost everything. I'm just like, it sucks because I wasn't really given freedom growing up. And my first taste of freedom, I fuck it up and I have a child. And it was not easy for me at all. It was very uncomfortable. I would say like the first year or two. And like I said, yes, there was a lot of love, but I was going through so many internal issues. And when you're a mother, especially a single mother, you don't have the luxury of taking time off. And my parents, they were very hard on me at first, but it came to that point where, one day I just needed to get out of the house. I just needed to go out and just be on the scene and kind of reunite with my old friends, even though they weren't there for me. I know that there's some people that they have kids and their friends are like, oh my God, and they plan the baby shower. I did not have that. There was no one there rooting me on. I had maybe like 4 friends that were truly there. But 3 of them were moms, and one of them was a good friend that I had known since kindergarten, so she was not going to judge me for it. But if it wasn't somebody that had, children already, they didn't want to hear about it. It was like, all right, well, she failed. She's another statistic. Hispanic, young, no father, and now she's living back with her parents again. It was humiliating, especially with how big my ambitions are. It was very humiliating. There were certain places that I didn't even go to anymore because I didn't want to feel that pity. So going back to what I was saying, I told my mom, I'm like, look, please, I'm going to leave him sleeping. Can you just watch him? I'll be back before he wakes up for his bottle because he usually woke up around like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So she was like, Lisette, I don't know. Like, you got yourself into this. I'm like, yes, and I know. And I'm going through punishment enough. Like, I really need this for my sanity. So I went out because I felt like I was missing out on so much in my life. So I go out and I see people drinking, having fun, doing good things, but I couldn't even enjoy myself because I was just thinking about my son. And I'm like, I don't even enjoy this the way that I used to. But I still wanted to be part of it. I was always that social butterfly. I was always the life of the party. So, I went back home. And what I want to say out of all of this is that when you're in that position, you truly feel so isolated. You feel like you lose so much. A lot of people, especially if you're young, you're going to think that this is a dead end. That my life, my ambitions, my goals, everything that I want to do, it ends now, and everything I'm going to do is for Junior. It's for my little child, for my princess, for my prince. It's all about them now. And it was so hard for me to accept that. And I felt so awful, and I felt so selfish, and I said, how can, God ever forgive me for how I'm feeling right now? So it took me a while to get past those emotions. And that's where my journey started. I said, you know what? There's a lot of things I have no control over in my life right now. So what can I control? So I started with fitness, and it was for all the wrong reasons, okay? Because I'm just like, I want to get hot because I want to make this guy resentful, because I think the last words I heard from him was, no one will ever want you because you have a child. And if someone does want you, they're probably going to have a child. And now you're going to have to deal with another child. And I know you don't want that. So I was just like at the bottom of the barrel, guys. Like, I felt like shit. So I started working out, and I'm like, I'm going to be the hottest ex-girlfriend he's ever had. I'm going to look so hot. Like, I'm really going to get my shit together. And so it started with that. But as I got more into it, I really started to strengthen my mind. And in the beginning, it was hard. I would constantly cry. I would constantly question myself. I would constantly say, like, shit, I can't go out. I'm missing out on so much. But once I was able to, once I was like 3 to 5 months into working out, I had, incredible stamina. My body was at its peak. I had never been this fit in my life. And I started a journey of where I was really becoming a motivational person. And I would post all these motivational quotes, and people were so inspired by me. But they didn't know that when I was posting these quotes, when I was saying these things, I had just spent 2 hours crying in the shower. I had just spent my time smoking like 5 blunts just to forget the pain that I was in. I was doing anything that I could to try to forget and block out the fact that this is what I had to deal with in life now. Okay, so once I started really getting into it and I found my power, and I had people from the outside saying, Lisette, I can't believe you're doing all this, and your mother, and you're inspiring me. And, I'm starting to work out now, and I'm starting to go after my goals. And I was just so happy that I was doing that for people, but it was all a facade. It was fake. I was not that happy. I was just trying to deal with my huge depression, because it probably took me like 3 or 4 years total to get over the after effects of the abusive relationship. It wasn't so much the person. I was completely over the person, but that stays with you mentally. And then you question everybody. What are your intentions for me? What do you want from me? You're not even going to love me. I felt like I was not lovable because I had a child. I said, what man is going to love me with a child? Going on dating sites definitely didn't help either, because a lot of guys, they want that one thing. And there's a lot of people on dating sites that they're very blatant. If you have children, swipe left. Do not even acknowledge me. People are cruel in this world. So I just felt like I wasn't worth anything anymore. Okay. So I'm like, damn, I lost my friends. Like, I'm no longer cool. I'm no longer hip. So what happens? I get through everything, and slowly my life starts getting better, and I start seeing things in a better light. And I come to realize, look, if you're a single mother and you have a child, there's going to be someone that loves you. And yes, there's going to be people that reject you, but do you guys know how much of a blessing that is? If someone off bat says, fuck you, you have a child, I'm not dealing with you. You think that if you didn't have a child, that person would have been all nice and dandy? No, their colors would have shown, you know, at some point. Because that's just shallow thinking. Because what I know now is that there's certain there's certain mothers, or there's certain mothers that develop when they have a child young. You can either be that the mother that's completely absent. You kind of throw your kid on other people. You're out, you're partying. You still want to have that same life. And then you have the other mothers that say, fuck it, this is what I got to do. Let me roll my sleeves up and let me get shit done. I have a child, but my life's not over. So it was a blessing. Even though I didn't see it at first, it was a blessing of every single person that rejected me. Even though I felt like shit in the moment, I know that I dodged so many bullets. What really makes a person go after you and love you and want to be with you, especially if you have a child that is not theirs, is your confidence. It's how you carry yourself. A real man or a real woman, whoever it is that you want to date, they are going to see that strength. They're going to see that you're a mother who's getting shit done. And they're going to respect you. Not only that, but, even if guys don't admit it, they want to date somebody that could potentially be a great mother. So use that, because they're going to see how you're treating your child and how you're doing things for your child. And if they see that you're taking care of things and your child is well dressed and well fed and, you're still going about life and still succeeding, that's going to be a huge plus. So I did all of that, and not for anybody else, but, for myself, so that I can just, still get through life and not feel like a failure. So what do I know now? I know that a lot of the people that looked at me with pity, they're nowhere near my level of success right now. And I don't want to say, oh, I'm rich, I'm successful. It's nothing like that. I feel so successful because I do something that I love every day. And I help people every day. And had it not been for those adversities, had it not been for those people that pointed at me and laughed at me and said, haha, she's pregnant. She's out of the game. She's not competition for us anymore. Ooh, you would have thought. It was like that bow and arrow. Yeah, I was going back so I could shoot with better aim. So here I am now, and, I have so much ambition. And now that I have my son, I have my why. I don't have a choice like, if I don't work this week, whatever. That's just one weekend of me not going out. No, if I don't work this week, my son does not get fed. It was like that. I guarantee you, had I not had my child that young, I probably would have lived with my parents another 7 to 9 years. Just because I was comfortable, just because I would have saved money. I would have been chilling with people who ain't shit, who ain't doing shit. To this day, people who are laughing at me and saying, oh, her life is over, go drinking every weekend. They still have that shitty job, where they're not getting paid living wages. Sorry, guys. My alarm. So they have, that same shitty job where they're not, advancing in their life. And I look back at me and I'm like, oh my God, I'm slowly building an empire. My son, I thought was my setback. He was my set up. And I think that it is so important, guys, or ladies, to realize the fact that when you have a child, you have a why, you have that ability to move forward, you have that ability to excel. You can sit there and you can, play victim, and you can put yourself in the system, and you can, just cry yourself a river and be on Facebook complaining about how much your life sucks. Or you can suck that shit the fuck up. All right? I'm being real with y'all because sometimes we need that smack. Get up. You can do this. Put on your pants, put on your shirt, get to that job, find that babysitter, do what you need to do. Do you have to work a little harder? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, who wins? It's not the most talented people. It's not the people that have the most money. It's the people that have the most work ethic, that have the best work ethic. I don't care who you are or where you come from. If I am constantly working every day, you will not outdo me. If I'm constantly putting content out for what I want to do for my job, my career, my YouTube channel, whatever it is, you cannot get ahead of me because my work ethic is, amazing. And I did not have that work ethic before I had my child. So another thing I hated, like I told you guys, was getting up early. I was the girl that would sleep until 12, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, I'm up at 6, at the gym by 7. My son's in school early. By 2, 3 o'clock, most of my day is like complete, and I've done so much. And those people that were laughing at me, what are they doing? They're going to their same homeboy's house to, get high, do all this stuff. And nothing against smoking weed. Weed is fine, okay? It's just, it's not okay once it kind of takes over your life and once you're not ambitious anymore. So me, when I want to have my fun, when I want to have my drink, when I want to have my blunt, whatever it is, I make sure that everything's done. I make sure that everything's taken care of, everybody's fed, things are good. And I've gotten to the point where if I want to take me time, I can do that. I don't need anybody, I don't need anyone's permission. I'm completely self-sufficient. I have my own place, my own car, everything that I needed. So you guys, your mothers who are depressed right now, or who feel like you're lacking things, or you feel like all your friends just abandoned you, good. Because you just scratched out a shitload of fake people and fake circumstances that were not going to help you to move forward. Because the people who are for you, they're going to be there for you regardless. Out of, my friends group, I have maybe 3 to 5 out of like the 40 that I chilled with. And we are so tight. And guys, quality over quantity. I will take a bullet for these people. They are so ride or die for me, and they're willing to, put themselves out on a limb for me as well. And I don't think you realize how important that is. When you have a child, okay, and I don't want to say this to, if you're young, to have you go out and have a child if you don't feel ready, don't do that. But if you're in this situation and it's something that you have to deal with, a child is a setup. It's something that's actually going to push you forward. I would not be who I am today without my child. So why do I make this video? Because I want to change the perspective of people. I want you guys to realize that you can be and do whatever you want. And at the end of the day, you actually get more credit. Because you did it with what some people would consider, she's handicapped now. She can't do this because she has, little Timmy to watch. That's not how it works, guys. We have to change our mindset. Having a child is a beautiful thing. You have a mini you running around. My child, I don't know where he gets it from, but he is the most kindest, wisest, I feel like it's an old man trapped in a little man's body. When I go to work, he's like, Mom, I love you so much, and I really hope you have a great time at work. I hope that people are happy with what you have to say. How does he know that? I don't really tell my son what I do, but I guess he hears me talk, and he knows that, Mommy talks for a living. That's what he tells people. Mommy talks for a living. And it's hilarious. And so, recently I've been having a few developments that are coming up. And my dream has always been to be a transformational speaker, to change lives, to travel the world. Okay? And, I've been asked to speak at an event in Las Vegas, May 6th to the 8th. I'll make a separate video, guys, just to let you know. But it's going to be a spiritual retreat if you guys want to go. But, aside from all of that, I'm getting asked to do something that I've always wanted to do. That's what all of this has been leading up to. And it terrified me. I was terrified. I was so scared. I was so nervous because there's nothing scarier than your dreams coming true. And my initial reaction was, no, don't do it. Because initially I just wanted to protect myself. What if you fail? What if you stumble? What if you don't find the words to say? What if people are looking at you and they're not interested? What if you're really trying to say something heartfelt that really affected you in your life and someone's just on their phone? How do you react to that? And now I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. Because I look at all these great speakers. I look at all these people who are so successful in life. And we always look at the end product and we compare it to ourselves. And it's like, I'll never be able to do that. But the truth is, all those people who are high up, guys, all those people that are motivational speakers, amazing athletes, amazing artists, amazing dancers, whatever it is that you do in life, they were not born that way. They started somewhere. They failed. People laughed at them. They, had hard times where they just had to cry and pick themselves back up. And the reason why they're so excellent is because they failed their way to success. Guys, success is not a straight road up. You're constantly going to be turning. There's going to be times where you go down. It looks like the freaking stock market, all right? That's what success looks like. And I am so grateful for my son that I once thought was a punishment from God for just being so damn crazy in my first 2 years of college, But the truth is I needed to calm down. The truth is I needed to focus. God said, listen, girl, you're meant to do big things, and I need you to focus right now. Ladies, if you are dealing with adversities, if you're dealing with things that don't seem fair, you don't even realize that you're being set up for something so amazing. All right? So you got to ask yourself, what mother are you going to be? Am I going to be the mother that hates myself? Am I going to be the mother that's constantly complaining? Because whatever it is that you do, that's what you attract more of. I tell you guys this all the time. Or are you going to be the mother that says, you know what? I freaking love you and I want to give you the world. And you make things happen. My son loves me. He is always bragging about me to my friends. Oh, mommy got a new car. Mommy did this. Mommy did that. Like, that's my little cheerleader. Do you know how it feels when I went up to my son the other day? I said, baby, where do you want to go this summer? I'm going to take you anywhere in the world, as long as there's no wars or anything happening. Where do you want to go? As opposed to when he was 1 or 2 years old and I, at times would barely have money to even feed him. And I'm asking him, what part of the world does he want to go to? It's ambition, guys. What are you going to put your drive into? What are you going to put everything into? If you have a child, it is not a setback. If you have a child, you can still do anything that you want in your life. You just have to, go through a few hoops, go through a few bumps in the road. But it's still possible. You have not lost your life. You have not lost anything. If you lose the father of the child, let them go. Do not beg for this person to be in your child's life if they don't want to be in your child's life. I'll tell you right now that an inconsistent parent is far worse than an absent one. Okay, my child is provided for. He has everything that he needs. God forbid, I go and something happens to me. I know that he's going to be well taken care of. I know that my parents are going to step up to the plate. I know that he's going to have this amazing memory of me saying, my mom was the fucking shit. Like, my mom was dope. And that's the mother I want to be, I want to be that mom that, everybody just wants to come to my house. And my parents were super strict. And, I like the way that they were now because I know what I don't want to do with my son. With my parents, as opposed to them saying, you can't go out, I don't want you in anyone's house, I'm be like, you know what? I do want you in the house because, I want to see what it is that you're doing. But, hey, tell all your friends to come over. And I'm just going to be that dope mom that my door is open. If you're my son's friend, you're family to me. And I'm just so excited that I'm going to provide a life for him that is going to be so much fun. Like, I'm even thinking about just traveling the world and pulling him out of school and getting, an amazing tutor and just doing things like that. Let him get out of his bubble. So all of this is possible. And ladies, I'm putting this out there because if I would have heard something like this when I was pregnant or when I first had my child, I would have been so, at ease. It would have taken a huge weight off my shoulder. This is not the end. This is the beginning of an amazing journey, and you guys have to see it that way. All right? So I love you ladies so much, and, I really just wanted to put this out there because, again, it's so important. You are not terrible if you are upset or if you're resentful. I understand that. Life is changing. You were comfortable where you were before. But guys, success does not come being comfortable. You need to be pushed against the wall. You need to really be put in a time of adversity. And the way you come out of that determines who you're going to be. So if you have a lot of issues, it's because you're being prepared to do something big. But make sure that you have the right attitude where you are trying to be as positive as possible and you are trying to, allow good things to come in. You got to be open to that. If you are resentful, if you are angry, then you're going to get shitty circumstances. But you have to understand what's done is done. You cannot go back. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for who you have left. And move forward. Move forward in a positive and a very strong way. There is no better unconditional love between you and your child. You are going to be their hero. You are going to be everything to them. There's a human that's in your life or that's going to come into your life soon, wherever you guys are, where you're watching this, that is going to see you as a superhero. Okay? And that's a big thing. So you have to keep in mind that everything that you do, once they're definitely at that age of consciousness, you're developing a member of society. All right? So if you're angry, do anything that you need to do to get yourself out of that mindset. Don't be angry at anybody and what they're not able to do for you. Step your shit up. All right? I never had assistance. I paid for everything myself, and yes, I was bitter about that. But it made me have to get, creative. It made me say, okay, I need to triple my income. I need to be able to live comfortably, because I was always somebody that loved the good life. And my mom's like, I don't know what the hell you're going to do, but you need to find something where you're going to be, paid well, because I don't see you living average. The world is yours, guys. Your child does not stop it. Your child starts it. I love you guys. I'm here for you. Take care.